Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce, and I'm here with
Jase Marsiglia.
And you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
There's three of us in here tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's you.
Yeah.
And there's a goddamn fly buzzing around in here.
And he is an aggressive son of a bitch.
So if you hear some sort of flailing or smacking, we're trying to kill this guy.
Trying to kill this dumb fuck, because he is not shy.
No, he's not.
No, he wants his presence known.
Yes. But you know what? He's not as loud as the other one.
No, the other one was louder.
That was crazy.
And I think he was on crack because he kept banging into your walls. But this one, he lands... I felt him land on the back of my neck. I felt him land on my arms.
I just saw him land.
I mean, he's a bastard, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, he better contribute.
If he doesn't, I think I know of a bug assault gun that could be put to use.
It's a very effective machine.
Oh, it obliterates him. It's so fucking cool.
I think we have something kind of fun tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from fly hunting.
Yeah.
Another kind of hunting.
Yes.
Movie hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been collecting since 98.
Probably same.
Okay.
Collected on my own.
Okay.
Because as a kid, I did want to collect my own movies. And my mom typically would find stuff at the mall. Some of us remember Suncoast Video, which was like the coolest fucking place at the mall. But every now and again, she'd come home and be like, hey, I bought you Creepshow. Oh, cool. I got my own Creepshow. Hey, Naked Gun. You know, some of the rental places around us would have the bargain bin with their tapes. And, you know, I remember the shelf in my bedroom. It wasn't out in the common area with everyone else's. I was proud of these. These were mine. But I had both, at the time, the only two Terminators. I had Predator, Creepshow 1 and 2. And the 2 was that, was it Starlight? What was the brand? We were talking about it the other day.
Star Maker.
It wasn't the New Line, New World tape. So, I mean, mine was kind of, I had a few of those. I had all 3 Indiana Jones. I had all 3 Die Hards. I had a decent collection of just my own tapes. And, of course, my family at the time also would indulge in the old Columbia House, you know, tapes through the mail thing.
Yeah.
That was cool. They used to send these really rad booklets letting you know what was coming out and all this. And I used to cut those out and put them on the wall. I had like little mini posters of like, I think I had Demolition Man at one point and Die Hard with a Vengeance and Lethal Weapon 4, I think eventually. Might have been the last one we got before we just stopped collecting from that, you know. Yeah, I had a pretty respectable VHS collection. And when DVD hit, that's when things changed. Because now I'm like, oh, look at all the cool stuff you can get on DVD, you know. And I was getting movies in widescreen for the first time. I think what was the first widescreen tape you had? Do you remember? Because I actually remember mine.
What was yours?
12 Monkeys.
Okay.
With Bruce Willis and Madeline Stowe. Yeah, the copy I had, it had a little red strip across the top that let you know this is a widescreen.
Like, hey,
copy.
You better have a TV.
Because people used to throw a fit.
Yeah,
about
I remember
widescreen.
because of that TV situation.
Fucking hate the bars and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here like, if you knew what that meant, you know, I'm like, this is the way you're supposed to be watching it. This is the way it would have looked in the theater. And I really coveted that 12 Monkeys because it was like, this is my widescreen one. It felt special. No, once I started collecting DVDs, I started with one of your favorite companies, and it was Anchor Bay.
Oh, okay.
I started dipping into their stuff, and I'm like, I got to see what some of these are all about because they were putting out a lot of horror.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was European overseas stuff that I'd never heard of. You know, your Fulci stuff. That's how I got into Fulci. And I think I got Wicker Man from Anchor Bay. Never seen it. But the one that really got me started, the one that made me a snob about it, I guess, was Army of Darkness. And the thing was, I'd seen Army of Darkness a million times. I had my VHS tape. I had that on VHS. So I knew the movie inside and out. And then occasionally I'd see it on the Sci-Fi Channel with like half an hour, 40 minutes of footage that I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, DVDs have deleted scenes and all this. And I'm like, it's got to be out there, right? And the only Army of Darkness DVDs by Universal were pretty much bare bones. It was like a trailer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to buy this then. Like a switch got flipped. I'm like, wait a minute. There's more out there. You know, and I'm like, I'm not going to buy this again, I waited and I waited and I waited. And in 1999, limited edition 2-disc set of Army of Darkness was released by Anchor Bay. And it was the first movie I ever ordered for myself online.
Okay.
And it was, it came with a theatrical cut. It came with a director's cut, alternate endings, deleted scenes, the works.
Yeah.
And that was my first real big DVD. And I fucking loved it. It was like, dude, this is what I want out of my DVDs. This is amazing. I don't know about you, but I started pestering Anchor Bay for other movies.
Really?
I did. I was such a nerd. I was like, I got to email them and tell them about other movies that I knew had other shit. I think I asked about Naked Gun because those movies tend to have tons of deleted scenes and none of them are on any disc whatsoever. The biggest one I pestered about, and I must have sent 10 emails, all of them unanswered.
Yeah.
Because Army of Darkness was a Universal picture. I'm like, you guys have clearly got your hands in Universal's in their bin. You've got access to their movies. The one that drove me nuts was they had put out a signature collector's edition director's series Laserdisc of Peter Jackson's The Frighteners.
Okay.
And this thing, from what I read online, was not only a director's cut that was maybe 20 minutes longer than the theatrical, but it had a 3.5-hour documentary on the making of the film from inception to release and then looking back. And I was like, a 3.5-hour documentary about a movie that I absolutely adored, plus storyboards, bloopers, outtakes, deleted scene. It was loaded. And I'm like, I'm looking at my DVD of The Frighteners and going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This thing comes with a trailer. That's it. So I'm like, I'm going to wait. It'll happen. It's out there.
Yeah.
And I'd seen other signature collection movies like Jaws and all that. A lot of that stuff got ported over and bigger editions were released. And I just tick-tock, man. I waited years and years and years and years and years. And then finally, when Peter Jackson's King Kong came out in 2005, they released The Frighteners director's cut.
Oh, I remember.
So the movie and a couple of bonus features were on one side, and on the other side was the documentary, and I finally got to watch it. So it was
So
totally
you never
worth
did
it.
the Laserdisc thing?
Nope, I didn't do the Laserdisc thing. Our family we went straight from VHS to DVD. I had friends who had Laserdisc, and in fact, I had a copy of Tales from the Crypt's Demon Knight that a buddy's uncle recorded off of a Laserdisc. So I had a Laserdisc-esque quality copy VHS of Demon Knight that he ported from the disc to the VHS.
Yeah.
What was cool was it was widescreen. It was funny because at a certain point, the tape would stop. I'd have a blue screen because it had to be flipped.
Yeah.
They couldn't fit the whole movie on one side.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of the closest to Laserdisc I got. I had a buddy with an uncle who would make VHS rips of whatever you wanted. Mm-hmm. And I never asked for much. I asked for Demon Knight. I think without even asking, he gave me Bordello of Blood a couple years later. But I didn't know enough about Laserdisc to go, where's this? Where's that? And I think at the time when The Frighteners came out, contact with that guy was gone. So it didn't even occur to me to reach out to my buddy and be like, does he have The Frighteners?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even minded if he burned the documentary.
Right.
Because I had
Just
the
so
movie.
You could see it.
Yeah. But it was nice to see an actual tangible copy. And I didn't get rid of my other DVD either because the biggest pullback was this director's cut. It was a director's cut only. So it was like, I kind of still want the version that I grew up with. I kind of want the version I loved. So I kept my other DVD and I had like a 2-disc thing. But eventually, and I believe it was fairly recent. Let me take a look real quick. 2022, so just last year, a German company called Turbine released a 6-disc collector's edition gift set of The Frighteners.
6 discs.
6 discs. And it's called The Frighteners, the Ultimate Edition. It comes with, let's see, the first disc is the 4K cut of the director's cut with commentary. Disc 2 is just a basic Blu-ray with the director's cut and commentary. Disc 3 is a 4K copy of the theatrical cut. Disc 4 is a Blu-ray copy of the theatrical cut. Disc 5 has the director's cut, but a different aspect ratio. It's called like Open Matte 1.78 because it's a 2.35 movie. And then disc 6 is the 3.5-hour documentary. as well as a brand new 94-minute documentary called No Way to Make a Living, A Look Back at the Frighteners. So it comes with everything I've ever wanted plus more. And it also came with, and this is the part that sucks, this gets me. It comes with a 196-page book, The World of Peter Jackson, with exclusive artwork, art cards, a Frank Bannister business card. Comes with all this shit. It's all in German.
No.
The entire fucking book is in German. And I'm like, God damn it. But I can't bitch.
Yeah.
This is like the coolest set. And obviously you need a region free player.
Right.
And that's something I do want to get into on this episode. Is
Okay.
Sometimes the better stuff was overseas.
It absolutely is.
Do you have a region free player?
I did.
Yeah.
I actually used it so much, I burnt it out. And it's funny because I bought it from Mike Kruger.
Did you?
Yeah. I must have gotten 20 to 30 plus DVDs, all horror,
Yeah.
and a region-free player from him.
Sure.
As soon as I got it, I went straight to Amoeba, and I just went crazy. I bought all the shit that was never released here in the States.
So Amoeba carried region locked.
They still do.
No shit.
Yeah, they still do.
Okay.
Yeah. And the one that I wanted, it's going to come to me. It was a part 2 of something, and it'll come to me while we're talking. But and then it ended up breaking,
Yeah.
and then I hadn't.
Just from overuse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hadn't got another one.
I need a new one because, mine works fine. There's been a time or two where it wasn't reading something and I took a screwdriver to it and kind of blew out the dust, you know, made sure it was cool. But it's been working fine. It's just, there's been a pretty aggressive pivot to 4K, and your typical Blu-ray player won't play 4K.
Right.
That set me into a panic once because of a box set I bought recently.
Really?
Yeah, it did. Because I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know you needed a 4K player. I just thought, to me, I thought 4K was like just up converted, which it kind of is. But I had a movie that said it was in 4K and it worked. So I didn't think anything of it. Then I get the Second Sight 5 or 6 disc collection of Romero's Dawn of the Dead. All of the discs with the films on it. And it's, you know how there's like 3 or 4 different versions of the movie. They're all in 4K. So I popped them in and it was like, meow. You know, you'd hear it like register that a disc is in there, and then it would stop and say no disc. And I'm like, the fuck there isn't. You know, I got pissed. I'm like, I paid a pretty decent penny for this box set, and it's lavish. I mean, it comes with a hardback book. It comes with a George Romero's novelization of Dawn of the Dead, which I didn't even know existed.
Wow.
Yeah. And it comes with 2 or 3 discs of soundtrack.
Oh, no shit.
Every song you can think of in the movie is on this thing. So, I mean, it's well worth the money at the time. I'm pretty sure it's out of print now.
Of course it is.
So it's hard to find. But I was like, at the time, I think I bought it for like $70.
Okay.
I think it goes for like $300 or $400 now, you know.
Sure it does, yeah.
But I got it for $70, and even then it was like, this is a chunk of change. I want this to work. And then it hit me. I go, 4K. Just as a test, I took the bonus disc, which had all the documentaries and shit and was just supposed to be a Blu-ray, worked like a charm. Yeah. So I'm like, it's the 4K. Since so many people are going 4K now, the writing's on the wall. I got to upgrade. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I never even heard of that.
The second,
I got to look this thing up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. It is funny, though, to have all of the Dead movies, and it's like the first one in Criterion, and then this fucking honker of a box next to it for Dawn, and then next to it, Dayland. You know, it just looks so small. This thing just is such an alpha box.
You know, that's crazy. I wonder why Day never really got something like that.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean the Dead series?
Yeah.
Studios.
Yeah, it sucks, you know, because I mean,
it does.
There's so much BTS of that.
Oh, I know.
You know, and they could do something really fun with that movie.
They could. They really could. And the thing is, with so many studios, so many different hands in the pie, that's a big reason why box sets, really good box sets that are complete, don't exist, you know, for certain movies. An example I gave you and Mike a few days ago, I think we went out to lunch, was my Amityville box sets. I have Scream Factory's now out of print Amityville trilogy, which was the only 3 that went to theaters. Yeah. Then Vinegar Syndrome released what was called the Amityville Cursed box, which had Amityville 4, 6, 7, 8. No 5. And I emailed Vinegar Syndrome and I go, I'm sure there's a reason. But how come 5 didn't make the cut? And they said, different right holder. We were able to get the other 4 though, and I was like, I'm not going to bitch. It's a cool box set, Come to find out, Amityville Cursed, which is the 5th in the series, was made in Canada, had totally different distributors. I think Vinegar Syndrome, one of their partner labels, released maybe 1,500.
Wow.
It was a very limited set, and it came with a slipcover and some bonus features. It wasn't just a cheap, here the fuck it is. It was cleaned up. It looked good. But now I have Amityville 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and right in between them, this little 5. So, like we talked before the show, what would be an ideal box set? And pretty much anything that Bounce Studios, it would be great if you could just collect them all in one place. Yeah. Scream Factory did it with Halloween. They were able to cobble together all 8 and the Rob Zombie ones. Mm-hmm. Scream Factory also cobbled together all of the Friday the 13th in one box set. That's Paramount and New Line. Mm-hmm. So it's possible that people can reach across the aisle, so to speak, and shake hands and go, we'll get on this with you. Yeah. It's a lot harder, I would imagine, with stuff like The Howling or Amityville, or these really long series where it just hops from studio to studio to studio. I would imagine it's near impossible for everyone to get along enough to be like, let's put out the ultimate 1 through 8 Howling box set.
Especially when you're studio hopping.
Oh, so much.
And you change so many hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never thought I would see a complete Friday the 13th box.
No, me neither.
Because I know Halloween, at least a couple of them are with Universal. Several of them were with Anchor Bay, but not. Yeah. And then you had the Dimension line. That's at least 3. Yeah. 3 different companies. And then Friday the 13th was 2. So, not impossible.
Right.
But I could see something like The Howling or Amityville. You'll never see them all together. Just too many studios.
Yeah. Do you collect a lot of gift sets?
Sometimes. I used to be against box sets. It's for a really stupid reason, but it was like,
God, I hope it's for what I think.
Because of the way they sit on a shelf?
Display.
I
knew it.
It is.
I knew it.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I've got the Indiana Jones trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's one more.
Yeah.
I've collected all 3 of MGM's James Bond box sets. Oh, good. Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Okay. And it just drove me nuts. So
That's the completest.
It is the completest, but it's like it's not part.
And uniform?
It's not uniform. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got the cool thing, and then this little guy. For years, I had the Scream trilogy by Dimension. Then 4.
Yeah.
It was just, it drove me insane.
I know. Are you a big liquidator? Do you sell stuff when something like that comes out? Like, oh, I'll get rid of this and then I'll buy it in this way.
Here's the thing. Since coming out here with you and learning about some of the more commerce side of trading and collecting.
Yeah.
Never really crossed my mind. I have tried to sell things. It just doesn't work that way for me, mostly because of eBay and all that. It's a pain in the ass. So what I used to do before I knew about what you do with yours, I handed them down to my brothers.
Okay. And just upgraded.
Yeah. If I got a new one, I was just like, here you go, man. I would say 70 to 80% of my brother Josh's home collection of movies, those were formerly mine.
That's cool.
He's probably got hundreds of movies that they just, here you go, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My middle brother, Justin, I gave him probably a good handful, but he's one of those that's like, I don't need the physical. I can download it. I can get it from Vudu or...
Yeah.
So he's cool with that. He's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. But Josh, he's a collector like us. And I was just like, here, man, I got the new Cujo. Here's my old one. So I was doing that. And the thing is, at this point, I've been buying so many obscure titles that I haven't had a whole lot to give them anymore. I haven't really had to upgrade.
Because you're getting new stuff.
Because I'm getting
stuff. Or stuff that's...
Yeah. And even if it's an old movie, something I've never seen and I blind bought it. We talked about Monsterpalooza Con. Out of the big stack of movies I bought from Severin and Vinegar Syndrome, I've maybe seen one of them.
Wow.
Those were all blind buys, most of them.
No kidding?
Yep. Just because when am I going to get a chance to see them?
Because you bought a fucking shitload.
I did. I put some money down on those.
Yeah, you did.
But it was just one of those deals where I'm like, they're limited. They're in great condition. They really put a production on these movies.
They do.
They're really well cared for. But it was like, they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And why not just pay for it, take it home, watch it. If it's no good, I'll flip it.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point now where I think I own every movie that I care to own. The ones that I really wanted to hunt for.
Yeah.
The hunt's over for those. Now I'm hunting for just new and obscure.
So you leveled up your game.
I guess so.
No,
Yeah.
you did. Because, like, at the beginning of the show, I said 98 is when I started collecting. But that was referring to DVD. Obviously, I worked at a video store, so, I mean, I had...
You were collecting probably from the 80s on up.
Yeah, I was. And I had fucking tons. Like, I had a wall in my room that was just floor to ceiling, corner to corner, just VHS.
Wow.
And it got to the point to where I was living at home with mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do I really need money? And so I told the lady that I was working for, I was like, how about double my pay, but pay me in movies?
Oh, wow.
And she was like, done.
No shit.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking cool.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was getting everything.
Yeah.
And
Whether
then-
you'd seen it or not.
Yeah, whether I seen it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I was getting everything. I mean,
Super cool.
to answer your question, I do remember the first widescreen that I was like, oh my God, this is widescreen. I'm getting it on VHS.
Sure.
And it was an Anchor Bay Halloween 2 cassette set, and they were bright orange.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the first one that I had got.
Did it come with like a keychain?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
I know
was like glued right in the middle. When
Yep.
you opened it up, the keychain was right there.
Yep.
That was the first one that I was like, oh my God, it's widescreen.
And that was an extremely limited
It was.
set. Now, refresh my memory. That didn't come with a snow globe.
No, that wasn't the snow globe.
Okay, so that was a separate release.
That was a separate release.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anchor Bay was cool for that.
Yeah. And it was cool. I mean, I still have it.
Do you?
Yeah, I still have the thing.
No kidding.
But then in 98, DVD came out. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know there was a couple before they were just kind of like testing.
They were testing
Because I believe
waters.
I've seen some like Hemdale releases in these plastic cases that like slid out the bottom.
Yeah, I remember those.
And the first one of those I had ever got was The Wraith with Charlie Sheen.
Really? Okay.
That I still have upstairs.
Okay.
But my first 2 DVD purchases with a player, I went to Sears. DVD players were new, DVDs were new, and I remember the 2 first ones I bought were Lake Placid
Oh, wow.
and American Pie.
Oh, no kidding.
And then I got a DVD player.
Yeah.
I believe it was a Fisher. It was super cool. It was like a little silver box, and it had like a mirrored front, and it had like a blue light around it. But it was like fucking like $800.
Yeah, yeah.
And the DVDs were like $39.
Oh, they were
And
pricey.
I wrote the check to Sears, brought it home, hooked it up, super stoked. The money never came out of my account. They somehow lost the check. So my first 2 DVDs and
What?
DVD player were on Sears. So thanks, Sears.
Thank you.
Now we know why they're out of business. But yeah, it was insane, you know, like the DVD quality and then getting bonus features where it wasn't just the tape ending and then rewinding
I
it.
know. Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh my God. As a movie nut, this was it. Because
This
I
was
could see, I
amazing.
got more.
You got more, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Our family's first DVD player, you're going to laugh at this,
Okay.
came on a new desktop computer.
Oh, nice.
My dad had upgraded a computer, and it just happened to be one with a DVD drive.
Wow.
So we're like, we got to see how this thing works. So
Yeah.
we were at Best Buy, I think, when we bought it. And we're like, we need something to test on this thing.
Yeah.
So we're looking around, and the first DVD ever bought in our family was Tomorrow Never Dies, the Bond movie.
Yeah.
We took it home, literally pulled all the chairs around the fucking desk.
Yeah.
And the family watched Tomorrow Never Dies on a computer on probably a 17-inch monitor.
Yeah.
And we were blown the fuck away because it looked amazing. Oh, cool. There's these menus. I can skip to scenes. It was technology that blew everything away for us at the time. And obviously things have just gotten better and better, but that was such a pivotal moment
Yeah.
where I was like, and even then it may have just come with like a trailer and a quick behind the scenes thing. It was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, I get to see the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, it was so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. And then I think a week or 2 later, we bought Twister
Okay.
in the snap case. And that was cool to watch because even on the little computer speakers, it sounded amazing.
Oh, I bet.
I think my dad had like, you know, the bass boost.
Little subwoofer.
The
and stuff.
subwoofer.
Yeah.
And it was just, it sounds funny to say that we all just huddled around this computer, but
It's so cool.
we were watching Twister at home and it looked crystal clear and it sounded amazing. We had collected some DVDs after that, but eventually when we got an actual DVD player, Dad went all out and bought the surround sound system. And the first movie we watched was Twister. We're like, we got to watch something loud. What do we got? And we were just like, Twister, let's see how this sounds. The coffee table was shaking.
Yeah.
You know, just the opening scene where, you know, it tears the guy out of the basement, you know. Things were shaking and we're like, oh my God, this is so fucking amazing.
That's so rad.
It was so cool.
Let's see, that's an amazing core memory.
It is, because it was just technology. You know what I mean? We were all...
But it was cool that it brought your family together.
It did. We were all
and it seems
so
like
stoked.
you all love movies. And it was something you could just all share. Oh, that's awesome, dude.
It was cool.
That's super cool, man.
It was such a cool memory. And it was just, I remember clear as day, all of us looking at each other like, damn, dude. Yeah. We've got a theater in our house.
Yeah.
It's so commonplace now.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a theater
has
in
a
their
theater.
house. Everyone's got a massive fucking TV. And
or they got a projector, they got sound bars. Yeah.
And all that's cool, but there was nothing like that leap from VHS into surround sound and, you know, crystal clear digital clarity. And that's what really made me catch the bug.
Yeah.
I was like, DVDs are bust.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is where I'm going to start collecting.
So you started collecting. Like me, it started with Best Buy. Because Best Buy, when they first opened around here, they were selling VHS.
Yeah.
And then I remember the tiny, tiny shelf of DVDs.
Yeah, it was almost an end cap.
Yeah. And then it was almost like over a summer, it fucking exploded. And there was nothing cooler than going to Best Buy and looking at the horror section and seeing on the spines the Anchor Bays.
Oh, sure.
Best Buy, they sold so many Anchor Bays.
They did. Best Buy was a great place for Anchor Bay.
And I remember, for whatever reason, at my local Best Buy here, they had all of the Anchor Bay tins.
Ooh, yeah.
On sale for $9.99.
Oh, my gosh.
So I got...
a piece.
Yeah. I got The Beyond... Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. I got Hellraiser.
Did you get Maniac?
I got Maniac. I got Heathers. I got Repo Man.
Repo Man came with a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be down.
Yeah, it was the license plate from the...
Oh, that's right. I can picture it.
I got Halloween 4 and 5.
Yep.
And Evil Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that might have been almost all of them, truthfully, now that I think about it, because they didn't do that many.
It wasn't a big thing. Although I will say, may not have been a 10, but do you remember the Wicker Man in the pine box?
Yes, I do.
Fucking awesome.
Yep.
Fucking awesome, dude.
See, Anchor Bay, man. Like
Anchor Bay was so cool.
I miss that company so much. I really do. Even though, you know, the new boutiques that are out there are carrying that torch.
And doing cool things.
Right.
There's some good gimmicks out there that they put on these things, but that was the Wild West back then.
It was the Wild West. And it was so much fun. It literally got to the point to where I was buying MGM and Anchor Bay.
Really? Okay.
And literally that was it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, MGM was putting out all of the old horror stuff, like the 70s, 80s, and 50s. You know, like they were doing the double packs and stuff. Like I was buying all those. Man, I have like so many still. Because, you know, they were putting out like Red Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all these super rad movies. It was crazy, you know. And then after I sort of just ransacked Best Buy, I started looking at other places of like collecting and stuff. So that's kind of what got me off on my tangent. So, and you brought up collecting. So what was it for you? Where did you go?
Best Buy was probably the place I'd start. And I remember walking out of there. You mentioned Anchor Bay. I bought that big, is it a three disc set of Suspiria, the 25th anniversary. What was funny about that one was I'm looking for a horror movie to buy. I'm looking, and somebody, whether it was a worker or someone who didn't want anyone to see it so they could come back and buy it, that Suspiria box was like wedged under the shelf on the floor. And I was like, yoink, you know.
Yes.
Somehow I found it. I think what it was I was looking at something on the bottom shelf and I happened to kneel down, to look and was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, Suspiria. That's mine. And then the funny thing was, I think I was walking around with Wicker Man, the pine box. When I saw Suspiria, I put Wicker Man back. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm a bigger fan of, you know, Suspiria. But I was like, yeah, I got to take this thing. And it was such a massive set. It was such a cool box set. It came with a soundtrack.
It was numbered as well.
Yep. Mine is numbered. But that was a big purchase for me. And then via Netflix, back when they would mail them to you,
Oh, yeah.
I started getting familiar with Fulci and being like, man, these movies are great. And every time I'd get a Fulci movie, when I'd pull it out of the envelope, sure as shit, Anchor Bay.
Yeah.
So I was like, Anchor Bay, I got to remember they got these Italian movies, you know. So I was a massive Anchor Bay fan.
Yeah.
And I was collecting the shit out of those. But what I wound up doing was, I think a lot of the ones I bought, I would go from Best Buy to Circuit City. And then if they didn't have it, I would go to Media Play.
Okay.
I don't know if do you guys have Media Play out here?
No, but I have heard of it just from friends back east.
Okay. And Media Play was cool because it was like a Best Buy Circuit City, but it was only movies, music, and books. That was it. And I think they had a corner that was toys.
Okay.
So like I have 2 snow globes. One of them's a Freddy, one's a Jason. Got them from Media Play.
That's cool.
It's cool shit like that. So Media Play was like the last ditch place to go.
Yeah.
Because boutique agencies didn't exist outside of Anchor Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only place I'd used to go to online, if it wasn't Amazon, was DVD Empire.
I remember them.
That's usually where I ordered my stuff.
Okay.
My more obscure stuff that I wasn't finding in stores.
Right.
So yeah, because it was different. You know, VHS, you had more places to run to.
Yeah.
And the big secret for us collectors was video stores that were getting rid of stock. They'd put shit in a bin and you could, for $10, you can clean some house.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they wanted that shit out of there.
Yeah.
So you get things for a song. Probably one of my favorite stories to tell people is a hunt I went on that took all day. Got up early in the morning, grabbed a buddy, and we made a day of it. We went all over Southeast Michigan, hitting up video stores, looking for one movie.
Really?
One film, Cellar Dweller. Yep. We had just seen Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay.
Freddy vs. Jason had just come out, so this is 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Freddy vs. Jason was so much fun for the two of us. This is my buddy Brian, if he's listening. We call him Russ. In high school, we used to end every conversation with, "Good talk, Russ." and eventually, we both just became Russ.
Yeah.
So our wives know us as Russ. Have you called Russ today? Russ called you. We get to visit Russ. And our kids are just baffled. They don't get it. But me and my buddy Brian, driving home from Freddy vs. Jason, and at the time, that was the big Northeast blackout that lasted like a week. It happened the week Freddy vs. Jason was coming out. The only theater with power was like over an hour away. So we went and seen it, packed theater. Everyone was going nuts. The drive home was just this big conversation about horror movies and how fun they used to be and how fun this one was. And did you ever see this one? Did you ever see that one? And all of a sudden I brought up Cellar Dweller. I said, "Have you ever heard of Cellar Dweller?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "It's this movie. It had Jeffrey Combs in it from The Frighteners and Reanimator. You know, we knew that one." And I was like, if I remember right, because I hadn't seen it since I was like a little kid. And it was on like TV.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this movie, I was like, it's not exactly terrifying, but it was fun. And it was this big werewolf looking creature that came from a comic book. Whatever you drew, it's like it climbed out of the comic and ate whoever it was on the page. The memory is super vague, but I remember as a kid, little kid, being terrified of the monster, but being just completely engrossed in this. This was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, it was never played on TV again, to my knowledge. Never showed up. And it was just one of these movies that just fell into obscurity. It wasn't exactly super popular to begin with, but it fell into the cracks.
Yeah.
And I said, I know one place that had it. And it was a video store called Video Zone out in Dearborn Heights. And it was in kind of a shitty part of town. You didn't really want to go there alone. You certainly didn't want to go at night.
Yeah.
But it was one of those places that was wedged in between a laundromat and a Little Caesars.
Okay.
And it's where my Uncle Mike, who always comes up, it's where he took us to rent movies. What we would do is we'd go to Little Caesars. This was long before the Hot and Readies. You'd go and order a pizza, and while it was baking, go into the video store and just mill around while your pizza's being made. And then you'd pick your movies, grab your pizza, go home. I said, I haven't been out there by myself. You know, like at this point, I got my license and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never driven out there alone, or as a teen or adult, whatever I was. It was like, I've literally never been out there since I was a little kid. I'm like, but they had it. I was like, I remember the cover distinctly, the fishnet stockings of the woman walking down the stairs and then this hand crashing out of the steps. And I was like, they had it. because the cover creeped me out. It was
Yeah.
like your worst nightmare,
Yeah.
walking into a basement and a hand grabbing you, you know. So I'm like, they have it. Let's go. Tomorrow, set an alarm. We'll get up early. We'll make a day out of it. Let's go. We did it. We drove all the way the fuck out there, ran inside. The place looked exactly the same. One change. It was just DVDs. And Cellar Dweller was never on DVD until years and years later. I'm looking around and I'm like, fuck. That's not good.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the place literally it was structured the same. Same guy behind the counter who looked like he'd been up all night watching a ball game
Yeah.
on a little 13-inch, you know. Porno room straight ahead behind the beads, and the Mortal Kombat arcade console in the left-hand corner that didn't work when I was a kid and still isn't working now, but they never got rid of it. And we were like, oh, we were kind of crestfallen, but then we saw a wall next to the porno room, like adjacent, VHS, like 10 for $1.
Yeah.
We practically jumped the shelves like Olympic hurdles. I mean, we were like, ooh. So we go over there and we're scanning top to bottom. Okay. All these cool horror movies.
Yeah.
I did wind up walking out with a stack.
Yeah.
Of just, I remember this one. I think I had like Beyond the Door.
Wow.
I think I grabbed one of the Faces of Deaths. You know, I was just grabbing shit. No Cellar Dweller though. So I was like, damn. So I'm like, well, someone had to have it. And what became of that day was we cruised all over, like Detroit, Dearborn, Romulus. We went everywhere. And every Tom, Dick, and Harry's video, we'd just park and run in.
Yeah.
Who knows? And we went into some fucking dingy places. There was one place, I shit you not, I took a step into one of the aisles and it felt like the floor was going to cave. From like water damage.
Yeah.
Like there was a smell in the air. Like this place was on its last legs, but it had nothing but VHS. And I'm like, if it's going to be anywhere, it'll be here. And it wasn't there, but they were selling House with William Catt.
Yeah.
I got House. I think I bought Chud. You know, I still walked out with stuff. But yeah, that entire day. And the fact that we came back, not empty-handed, but not finding the movie we had ventured out for.
Right.
Didn't matter because we spent the entire day cruising around, listening to tunes, laughing it up, stopping for food. It was a hunt day. And it's the last hunt I ever went on.
Yeah.
And it was just,
That's
you
cool.
mentioned core memories.
That's it.
Me and my buddy Brian just cruising around Southeast Michigan looking for Cellar Dweller.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny. It was so much fun to be able to just hunt for a movie and go into all these places that I'd never even heard of. You know, of course we were bypassing Blockbuster. Fuck Blockbuster. You know, we're like, it's not going to have it, you know. But we went into Brad, probably 13 or 14 mom and pop video stores, like Fox Video, Movie Club, this video, that video. And it was a fucking blast.
Wow, that's so rad.
And I mean, you I'm sure you know. You still do it out here. You do the hunt.
I do.
When I'm out here with you, I'm with you, man.
Yep.
Let's go to Amoeba. Let's go here. Let's go there. So we still do it, but that was the last big crusade.
You know, it's
for
crazy.
me.
The filmmaker brain turned on.
Did it?
And I was like, search for Cellar Dweller.
Mm-hmm.
Write a little script. Like just the way you were talking about it.
Bro.
There's a story there.
Let me tell you, that story, it got published once.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, so we're already onto something then.
Yeah. I wrote it as a column.
Okay.
And it was just a tribute to mom and pop video stores. But basically, Cellar Dweller was my holy grail.
Well, maybe something was just birthed right now. So
Maybe.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, we may have to.
Yeah.
Not that the people listening haven't just heard the inception of an
Yeah,
idea.
yeah,
But,
but
that's how that shit happens.
That's how it
folks,
happens. Because
you know.
that's, I just saw a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
So,
you could totally make a fucking cool adventure movie out
It's
of
a good idea. Something to put on the board.
venturing for
Yeah.
fucking VHS.
And it's funny because you actually reminded me of what movie it was that I got on multi-region.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Chud 2.
Oh, God.
Bud the Chud.
Bud the Chud. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that didn't make it over here
No.
for a long time.
And I remember being able to get that, and I was just like, finally,
Yeah.
I get to see this.
You'd never seen it?
No. No.
One of the video stores by my house had Bud
Had
the
it,
Chud.
yeah.
And I rented it. I saw it on VHS.
And then I was like, oh, really? That was it?
I know, it was kind of shitty.
It was.
But it was
Well, that cover was so fucking cool.
The movie didn't live up to the cover.
It did not.
At all.
But that's a testament to the 80s, man.
It is,
I know. That's what they did. You know, I did get Cellar Dweller working at the video store.
Did you?
And I got the Star Maker version.
I didn't know there was a Star Maker
It's the same cover, but it's just got the yellow border.
No shit.
That's the one that I have.
The one I wound up doing, I gave up and I went on Amazon. And I found the VHS tape, but it was one of those Amazon MGM deals where it was a gold cover with the lion's face on it.
Okay.
And Cellar Dweller just unceremoniously kind of written on the...
Really?
And like you flip it over, the back doesn't have any pictures. It's just a little blurb
It's like
about
a burn on demand kind of a thing?
Kind of, but it was still a VHS.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just... I'm sure people out there know what I'm talking about. It was just this yellow package with like almost like a photo negative version of the MGM lion. And it just said Cellar Dweller up the side.
Wow.
And I was bummed because I'm like, I wanted that cover. But yeah, the New World one was just not available. And if it was, I'm pretty sure it was worth a pretty penny at the time because it was such an obscure film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy to get that. I think it was like $6. And I ordered it. And when it came in, I popped it in and watched it for like the first time in 20 years. And it was funny how much of it was coming back to me as I was watching it. It's just a fun monster movie.
It is.
But eventually... I forget where I got it. Might have been, we had it wasn't a convention. I shouldn't call it a convention. It was something called like the Tape Eaters Club. And it was literally, they rented out like a big fucking conference room in a hotel. And it was all these tables of people just selling VHS. It only happened the one time. And I walked out with, I found Cellar Dweller. I grabbed some movie with, I don't even remember the name. I think it's like Daughters of Darkness. But it had Mia Sara from Ferris Bueller and Anthony Perkins. No idea.
Wow.
Still don't know what it is. And I don't think it's even made it past VHS. But it might have been a Vidmark. I forget the name.
Vidmark.
I think it was a Vidmark movie.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I grabbed that. And then one of the other ones I grabbed was like, it was a typo negative VHS, like Typo Negative After Dark. And
that's fucking
had
dope.
Music videos and
That's
shit.
dope.
And I was like, I've never seen this, and I'm a huge Typo Negative fan. I've got
Yeah.
other albums, so I just grabbed that. And I mean, I couldn't have spent more than $15.
Wow.
Because people were just unloading them, man. Here, just tapes up the ass. Oh, I did walk out with Ghost Town.
Oh, no shit?
Yes.
Really?
The New World Ghost Town. Yep. Which was a fucking rad buy.
Yeah.
I love Ghost
I mean,
Town.
I just watched that recently on VHS.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like, it's such a cool movie.
It is. It's just a fun, scary Western.
I think it's disturbing.
Do you?
Yeah, because those movies where there's, you enter into a portal or you enter somewhere, my thing is always like, how the fuck do you get back?
Sure.
And it's like, it's anxiety.
It
is.
is.
I like that shit. And
He got sucked into, would you even call it the past? Because they were ghosts.
I don't think it was the past. I think it was like an alternate universe.
Yeah, because didn't he chase somebody? And then when he went through, it was like, oh, suddenly there's a town. Here's the strip.
Yep.
It's been a minute since I watched it, but as soon as I saw the tape with, the gunslinging skeleton on the front.
I love that.
Such a cool poster, dude. Yeah, I was like, mine.
Oh, yeah, that's such a great one. So you don't hunt much?
I don't really have anywhere to hunt in Michigan.
Wow.
All the video stores have dried up. Any place that used to sell movies has dried up. We just, on this trip, found out Best Buy, they're getting out of the movie game, physical media game.
Yep, which means pretty soon they'll be out of business.
Yeah. So literally my hunts now are online. And I'm always happy to find what I'm looking for online, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same again.
So have you ever gone into like a thrift store or a pawn shop? Mm-hmm. And just nothing?
Every now and again I get lucky. I do have one antique store in downtown Belleville. It's a 2-store. What's funny is it looks so small on the outside. You go in and it's a labyrinth.
Wow, that's cool.
Not as big or as crazy as the ones you've been taking me to out here.
Yeah.
But it's cool and it's cramped with stuff. But there's one little corner where there's usually some tapes or some DVDs. And I think I walked out with one of those direct-to-video movies that was about the Night Stalker.
Okay.
Ramirez.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals where it was a direct-to-video movie, and then I got something called Witchcraft, which wasn't the Wynorski,
Yeah.
the titty flicks. That
Yeah.
There's like 30 of them. It was a BBC.
Whoa!
It was a BBC movie, but the cover had this wraith on it, like a Grim Reaper looking, and it just looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like a made-for-TV movie from Britain. I've never watched it,
Yeah.
but it looked cool, and it was like $1.
Okay.
So I was like, I got a couple things I've never seen, so I'll take them. And they were super cheap, but it was just, it's nothing like what
God,
what you and I do.
right. And that's the thing is like, just because of like when you make these trips, our time is so spoken for.
Very.
And so it's like we don't really get weekends because there's always an event or there's something that we're doing.
Yep.
And then during the week is like kind of normal life.
Yeah.
And then recording like almost all night. So
Yeah.
we don't really get like free days.
No, we don't.
And I'm hoping one of these times when you come that we are able to have just a couple days where I can really take you to some places.
Yeah.
Because
that would be
like
neat.
there's a place that we go to in La Mesa called Reanimated Records. And it's like, oh my God, dude, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just a horror themed record store. And there's 80s stuff in there. And I've like, they've expanded, they've got the store next to them and they're just growing and they have like nothing but like a movie room.
Wow.
And it's just floor to ceiling movies and there's VHS and it's like mainly horror.
Yeah.
Then they have like toys and then books and records and just, oh my God, it's just such a cool place.
Yeah, it sounds
So it's
awesome.
like, we'll start something like that where we'll go down there and, we'll hit Reanimated Records and try to find like an occasional, like a thrift store, an antique store,
Yeah.
And then, we'll come back this way and, we'll hit shops around here. Some of the places that, up in LA, obviously Amoeba.
Yep, we go there pretty often.
Yeah, there's one that I want to take you to in Burbank that I've been going to for a while called Atomic Records.
Okay.
There was one time, I shit you not, we were buying VHS from these guys for like a quarter or 50 cents. And not junk, dude.
No.
Like
Good
great
stuff.
shit. Yeah, and we've been going so long that the two guys that own it, brothers, pretty much know us now.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, all DVDs are $1 and Blu-rays are half off, whatever they say.
Yeah.
And it's like all the time.
That's so cool.
It is. I'm always walking out with the fucking giant stack and it's like 30, 40 movies and it was like, oh, this was $27.
Yeah. And not for much.
Yeah.
I guess in the meantime, if I could give any kind of shout out, I order a lot from a place called Orbit DVD. And I think they're in North Carolina. And this place has region locked DVDs and Blu-rays. They get shit from overseas. They get rare box sets. Very hard not to find what I'm looking for there. And in great shape. And they've also, it's a brick and mortar place, but I buy from there constantly. And they always have good deals. There's always a 3 for free, it's called.
Okay.
So you buy 3 movies, your shipping's free as long as you put the code in.
Wow.
Yeah. So, doesn't matter where you live, 3 for free.
Wow.
There you go. And they have a used section. They have a damaged section.
Okay.
And when I say damaged, I bought a movie from them it was a recent one called Kill Her Goats.
Okay.
Have you been hearing about that one? I guess it's kind of a newer, kind of an indie darling, I guess. But it was kind of a big deal when it came out. The joke is that it's Killer Goats, but it's Kill Her Goats.
Okay.
And I bought one damaged from them. And the damage was that the slipcover had a little bend in one of the corners.
Come on.
Yep, that's it. Granted, they do have a couple where they're like, this outer case is cracked. Which, you could buy a Blu-ray case on Amazon for like $1. Easy fix, easy replace.
Wow.
But they'll never give you something that's like, this disc is scratched.
Just mangled.
This disc has fingerprints. No, it's like every time I've gone into their damage section, I'm like, I'll buy it for that.
Yeah. Do they tell you what the issue is?
Yeah, they'll take pictures of it. And like, when I got Killer Goats, I got it in the mail. I flipped it around, looked at it. I'm like, if you didn't tell me this wasn't damaged, I wouldn't know.
That is crazy.
But they dropped the price on it because to them, this little blemish is that's how serious they are.
Okay, I will check these people out.
For sure. No, I get a lot of good stuff from Orbit, and they ship quick as fuck.
Do they really?
Quick as fuck. If I ordered something today, and mind you, people, I'm leaving California during this recording. We're leaving in like 2 hours to go to the airport.
Yeah.
If I were to go on Orbit DVD right now, tonight, 10 to midnight,
Great
and
morning.
order something, yeah, I know. I could probably have it by Monday. Yep. And that's the thing. When you do the 3 for free, okay, all shipping has been wiped off. They still give you the options for 2-day shipping, express shipping. It's all free.
Wow.
So why the fuck wouldn't you pick the fastest one? Because it's on them.
Yep.
Boom. I could order something right now and have it by the time I get home.
Yeah, I just looked them up. They have an out-of-print, rare, hard-to-find
Yep.
category. Holy smokes.
Employee picks. Yeah, out of print, damage discount, VHS. They sell books. They have a section where you can look at releases by distributor. So if you're like, I just want an Arrow video or an Anchor Bay, go over there, movies by company, click Anchor Bay. That's all their stock from Anchor Bay.
That is crazy.
This site, I mean, I'm telling you, dude, it's really fucking amazing. I think you're going to have a ball at this website.
Well, hopefully one day Orbit DVD will buy some ad space on $51.95.
I would pimp them all day and all night.
Because I'll definitely be buying from them.
I love Orbit DVD. So yeah, if they're listening to us, they're at 781 Haywood Road, Asheville, North Carolina.
Very
28806. And again, it is a brick and mortar store. I would love to go in and check it out. It's you go on their site, you go on their Instagram, and there's pictures of their store. The owner, he'll take pictures of these boxes that came in and be like, these are fresh off the press. These all came in.
Very cool.
So yeah, I do get a lot of really cool stuff from Orbit, and they take care of you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'll be checking them out for sure.
Sure.
I know we could do this all night. We'll catch up again on the DVD craze because I do have a couple of other topics I'd like to talk about. Out of print, hard to find, rare, and then we'll get into
I've got some gems.
What's the most we've ever paid for shit like that. So maybe we can pick that up on the next one.
Sounds
and
good.
just kind of see where it goes. So
For sure.
all right, man. Well, until next time.
See you guys.